guess everyone knows Shekhar. They know you more than they know me. And uh, uh, basically, Shekhar, Aruna and Sham Nawate introduced Shekhar, and then he has been very, very active with the yogic neuroscience, and there's such a big group that is, giving more information and knowledge, and also he has been helping people individually, all over the USA and maybe outside the USA also. And so I'm really happy to have Shekhar as part of this and our family and Shri Yoga family. And so with that, Shekhar, go ahead and again, if you want to introduce yourself, please do that. More information.
Thank you so much. So this is my offering to the feet of my gurus, all my gurus. So today's session is on mantra, tantra, and yantra, which are brain reprogramming methods devised, I don't know, millennia ago for a happy and totally fulfilled living. So that's what we will be discussing today. Adi Yogi is being at the forefront. He was the only Adi Yogi. Shivji is was the one who created all this technology of mantra, tantra, and yantra. All of them he is the one who is to be credited for that. So mantra is basically sound energy of a deity. Tantra is the technology by which you can use the sound to get to the same deity or your true self. And yantra is the space energy. So yantra means three-dimensional configurations and space. So what happens is this mountain is a space energy because it has three-dimensional structure to it. And this has the highest form of energy known to mankind ever, a particular spot which is extremely high energy. And I have had the occasion to discuss with a lot of people who have gone to Kailash Mansarovar, and they say that the energy is, you can feel it. It is that strong. So what is mantra? Mantra is mananat trayate iti mantra, which means mananat means sustained repetition or contemplation of anything. And trayate means protects that which it is. So sustained repetition and or contemplation of that which protects, releases from all miseries is called mantra. So this is the essential aspect of the mantra. Now, one of our favorite mantras in our culture is Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirya Yatraha Stire Rangestu Shtuvang Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadavi. So this is one of the things, and these are the kind of Atharva. This is from Atharva Ved, and Om may be hear only good and what is auspicious in our ears. May we see the auspicious. May we be prayerful. May we offer our lifespan allotted by the Devas for the service of God. So this is what it means, and it is coming from Yajurveda, and it is chapter 25, Shloka 2.1, as well as in Prashna Upanishad and Mundaka Upanishad. So what it does, chanting this constantly, is, if you know the meaning, fantastic. If you know the meaning, the mantra itself will reveal the meaning. That is the power of mantra. You do not have to know the meaning to start chanting it, but after chanting it, you will know the meaning directly firsthand. That is the direct experience of mantra. Mantra has a power to give you the direct experience. So it brings blessings, auspiciousness, happiness, transforms our body and mind in many ways. Mind becomes focused, the breath becomes longer, steadier, and slower. So this is This is one of Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuya. That the accent that you give at various aha, aha, ha, devaha, that is the place where things happen actually. The vibration of the sound influence the well-being of our bodies. The shift of our energy towards activity or calmness. So if you want to do activity, it does you to gets you to the activity. If you want calmness, it gets you to the calmness lots. So engages our emotions and soothe them. Shifts our thought toward divinity. This is the power of mantra. Now, why mantra chanting is important? I used to ask my mother, why is it important to chant mantra all the time? He said that he said to prepare the apparatus, the brain, to seek, to understand and comprehend higher order of knowledge and wisdom. I mean, when I was in United States back then, long time ago, and I used to go. Now my mother is not there, but I used to go and ask her, what is the whole idea of being chanting all that time? And I read couple of Upanishads and I thought I was big time, right? If you read Upanishad without the apparatus being ready, it turns out that you become arrogant. That's what I was. So my mother said, you need to chant. I said, why? Because it prepares the apparatus to seek and understand and comprehend. How? Because, she said that, have you seen a jeweler sonicate your jewelry to clean it? That's exactly how you do it. So if you chant mantra, say from Yajurveda, there is a lot of spandan or intonations or vibration, which causes rewiring of the brain. It breaks the old fear uh, or negative emotion based circuits, or basically from limbic system. The circuits of the limbic system is broken down, and rewiring of the same neurons to a better higher achieving or higher understanding neurons network is what happens with chanting. It's just like sonication. And the same thing is happening in the temples. um, all the temples in our Bharat is having gongs, right? Bells. So what it does is, even if you don't need to know nothing, you just sit there and the gongs can purify you. Why? Because it works the same aspect as just like sonication. So it can prepare you. And the rewired brain is now ready to receive and understand the import of those mantras and stotram. So so if you constantly chant the stotra, first it does it cleans the junk in your system, it breaks the bad neuronal network and rewires you to for a better neuronal network, and then it makes you understand it also. How it helps to do that is what we will be talking about. Now, as we see the evolution of the species from rat to cat to chimpanzee to human, you see this particular portion, the frontal lobe, is getting developed more and more. Now, this frontal lobe development, this has the speech area, which is Broca's area, which has the speech center and recognition and all that. So, speech and articulation is a function of erect spine. See, these guys were horizontal. Monkeys were standing up, so they developed this frontal lobe, and human being is stood up upright, and that is the real cause for the frontal lobe development. Now, why real erect? Because for the frontal lobe to develop, you do not require high blood pressure. If it is a high blood pressure, which at the horizontal level, it is close to the, uh, I mean, it is not against gravity, right? It is close. So it has a potential to give higher blood pressure, but higher blood pressure breaks the very tender neurons. You require very balanced blood pressure in order for you to develop the neuronal network that forms the frontal lobe, prefrontal cortex. Now, as human developed, they developed speech, and the speech came from all the Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, Sam Veda, and how do they get this knowledge? From Om, AUM, Om. And why? I'll also discuss why it is important to say Om instead of Om. Instead of OM, why you should also stress on AUM? I will discuss that as well. And this Om came from the Damru. Shivaji's Damru gave the sound, and that's how the entire Sanskrit grammar came out of. And that's how once Sanskrit grammar came, this Rigved, Yajurved, Samved came, and all the languages came and along with the speech center. And that makes a human being specifically different than the rest of the world, rest of the species. So how do we use Om, which is a triplet code actually for our well-being and evolution through brain reprogramming? This is what we'll discuss. The triplet code is not nothing new. Uh, so this triplet code was existing as AUM, but in biology, in molecular biology, we have this triplet code which codes for different kind of proteins, and this is what is Hari Govind Khorana got Nobel Prize for. Now, AUM at different intonations. When you chant AUM, or you have a higher time given to A and then less to M, or you again give more time to M and less to A, or you can give more time to U and less to A and M. So these are different various combinations and variation and permutation that you can get. And between this and this, there is a lot of variations that you can do intonations of. So let's say, for instance, if you have to do and you can twist your tongue within the palate inside your mouth, you can get tremendous level, different level of intonations. And that is what makes those intonations are necessary for different activation of different brain centers. And that's why we consider Sanskrit as one of the language which brain understands, because brain understands means the brain has the potential to get activated by those intonations. And Sanskrit language has its all intonations only. Okay. The letters of Sanskrit alphabet allows the human mind to interface with the primal energies of cosmic intelligence and receives it deeper insights. This is what Sanskrit language is all about. And I am a biggest profound proponent of Sanskrit as an additional language should be learned by everybody. Um, let's talk about the vowels. A, A, I, U, E, O, Ah. Right? Each type of sound has spiritual and yogic implications. Now, vowel represents consciousness, spirit, which is basically the Shiva principle, right? The unmanifest consciousness. That is what it is. Because if you say, oh, it doesn't mean anything, that's exactly what when you transcend your thinking, it doesn't, you don't even have to know it. It just is. Vowels are the essence of sound and vibrations, continuous, independent, and enduring in their resonance. You can take any vowel and intone it indefinitely. That's the beauty of that. And in Brahmari Pranayam, that is one of those things that we use to create nitric oxide in the brain and in the endothelial cell as well as mast cells. So these are the different levels of ideas that are being used in science also. Many powerful Sanskrit seed mantras like Om and Am are vowel predominant for this reason. They allow our energies to open, expand, and ascend to a higher level. This is the power of this vowel, especially the. So consonants are another one. Yara, lava, sha, sa, ksha. So what happens is they are just opposite in nature to vowel. Consonant represents matter or nature, prakriti, or the Shakti principle, that which drives the thing. Vowels don't drive it, but they are in strict control of the Shakti principle, which is the consonant. Consonant serves to focus pure sound quality of the vowel into a particular form or direction. The sound quality of the vowel is given direction and focus by consonant. Consonant are contact based, so you have to say yeah, yeah. So you will see that the tongue is touching somewhere, whereas the In vowels, you don't touch anything. Try pronouncing a word which consists of consonants only. It's not possible. It's not possible. So that's what it is. So while consonants allow for a definitive expressions, they also create illusion as sound become limited, right? So this is the limitation of consonants. So they have definitive expression, but it is limited. While vowel represent the eternal powers, consonant are the forms which manifest in the limited field of time, though they can reflect higher qualities. So this is the beauty of consonants. Now, different levels of speech are there. Um, Vaikhri, Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Para. These are the four different kinds of speech. Now, Vaikhri is called the audible speech. I am speaking Vaikhri right now, right? And there is Madhyama, which is now this Vaikhri speech has the center in the throat. Throat chakra is what uh, gives this Vaikhri speech, and it is present in the waking state of my consciousness. Madhyama is a pranic speech, which is coming from the heart chakra, and mantra with heart chakras, mantra with breath. So any mantra which has used breath as one of the like Om Namaste Astu Bhagwan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Triambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikalagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Neelakantaya Mrutyunjaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Nama. This is one whole breath. So this is basically if you use this is the kind of a pranic speech which is found in the dream. Okay, the Pashyanti is basically element speech. It's coming from navel, quiet and contemplative. Now, if you have read anything about Raman Maharshi ji, he used to communicate with Pashyanti or most of the time, and he was in deep, not in deep sleep. He was in a meditative state actually, and he would be awake, but at the same time meditative, wakeful, wakeful meditative state. So that's what it is. But that also is in deep sleep. So in the dream, whenever we must have had dreams, and we talk in the dream. What type of speech do they use in the dream? It is the pranic speech. In the deep sleep, there is no such thing as a audible speech, but it does have an speech component to it, which is element speech, right? And para is the transcendental speech, which is turiya, and it is the root chakra that is involved in this, and that is in the samadhi state. If you have listened to Sriji's, video just now, and he does that all the time on different pranayam and all that. That is after this video that I'm giving you all. So if you will appreciate his talk even further, much more, much better. Where eagles dare. Significance of Bij Mantra and the start of the subjective experience. Now, most people, including me, I used to be not. I am no more like that. Um, I would just consider all these mantra as some kind of a flu thing, not real. I don't- where is scientific experience? I did not understand that these guys are talking about subjective experience, and I was more focused on the objective science and objective experience. And give me the data, and I'll try. Give me the printout of them, then I'll believe it. That type of nonsense I was to be. But this subjective science is much more intense, much more depth field, which I was unaware of, and that got me excited about this. Now, in Sriji's, you must have seen that he does that. He's at different chakras. He talks about pronouncing lung and then sitting quiet and deep breathing, all that stuff, right? So these are different chakras, and which have Bij mantra to it. The lung is the Bij mantra, which is basically for the feeling of prosperity, security, and community. If this root mantra, this Muladhara Chakra is not activated enough, you will find you will never be, even though you may have the money, but you'll never feel prosperous. You will never feel secure. So this is the power of that. This mantra is to make you feel secure, prosper, and have a community orientation thinking like that. So it has four petals. Vam is the semi-vowel, sham, ksham, sam, all these things, right? Now, these are different levels of understanding of our real purpose of life is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the ones. So, it energetic wise, it is inertia, right? Density. Now, at an unactivated state, at the activated state, it is the origin of grace and the formation of joy, and this is the Muladhara Chakra. The deity is Brahma, the creator. And Shivji, and sorry, Ganeshji is also at the time at the root Muladhara Chakra. Muladhar Sthito Sinityam. Remember that Atharva Shirsha. So that Ganeshji gives the 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 protection, and it removes all the obstacles in order for Brahmaji to do the creation. So remember, Ganeshji is no less important. The earth element is there. That's where the smell come from. So the symbol is yellow, or yellow square, and the red triangle. Now red triangle is facing, the direction is downwards, right? So that downward is the feminine energy or the feminine quality of the chakra. And of course, smell and the sense organ is known. Motor organ is elimination and reproduction, and the tissue is called is all the muscle tissue has the earth element into it, right? All the tissue, and the body part is known as heart to palate, lower abdomen. That's what it is. And the organ in our system is the colon, reproductive organ, and excretory system. And the dosha, according to Ayurveda, is a kapha dosha. So if there is somebody who has a kapha dosha, this is basically this chakra is not doing well in that person. That's what it means. Now, Vam, it is at the Swadhisthana Chakra, one level up, and it is open to this is the Bij mantra. Vam is the Bij mantra, which you must have seen. Sriji always do this Bij mantra chanting in his sessions, and this opens up to self-expression, to face change fearlessly, and to overcome shyness. Now, I'll tell you one story which I told these children in just 1 week ago. And I told them till the age of 14, I would say, I was a very weak, always sick child, and I used to get beat up in the school every day. And the big fellows in my class used to eat my lunch every day, every day. And after lunch, I could not focus, and I was like my stomach was hurting all the time because acid is secreting here. And the teacher thought that I am playing, and I always asked, go stand outside. I used to stand outside. So after lunch, there was hardly any focus in my life. And my father sensed that. And once he sensed that, um, he was a BKS Iyengar's, what do you call, he was a sevak of that organization, and he was a big, huge, good teacher for that organization. So he gave me one pamphlet which has Surya Namaskar in it. And he says, you do it one today, two tomorrow, three next day, four fourth day. This way you do it 100 times, 100 days in a row. You do it and tell me what happens. After doing 100 days, I went up to that fellow who ate my lunch. I said, you can take away my food, but not my appetite. That much courage I had. So that fearlessness, and that fellow knew it when he saw me. He knew it that if he takes my lunch today, he is going to be, whether I get beat up or not, but he will be on the floor. Definitely. He knew it. That fearlessness was my first experience, direct experience of doing Surya Namaskar. Shyness was out of question. Fearlessness was in big time, and I was able to express myself. I am so glad that my father taught me. Surya Namaskar, which means that my Swadhisthana Chakra, my Muladhara Chakra, and all these chakra getting activated now. Now, that is my biggest, like, anytime whenever I talk about the power of doing yogasan, I always give this example of direct personal example of my life. So energetic wise, it is the vibration, flow, permeation, and chakra is Swadhisthana, which is obviously water chakra, which means you are eliminating, urination, all that stuff, right? This is a Vishnu chakra. Symbol is the crescent moon, as you see here. And the taste is without water, there is no taste, right? So that's why it's important. Water is, and tongue is one of the sense organ for that. And motor organ is urination and reproduction. Tissue is fat. So majja, see, and the body part is left side of the chest, and dosha is a kapha dosh, and the organ which is associated with this chakra is kidney, reproductive organ, and pancreas also. So anybody who has these kind of challenges, is this chakra need to be fixed, and by this vibration, the what do you call, uh, beej mantras, right? Rang. Now you stand up to yourself and be outspoken and exercise self-control. You know, it's not a fearlessness, does not mean going out and doing dumb things. This chakra controls that aspect, that controls the dumb thing, that you can do fearlessness. You can go ahead and somebody says jump the mountain and you will jump the mountain. That is idiot, being dumb. But this chakra activation control exercises self-control. Even though you are fearless, you will not do dumb things. And you might be outspoken, but you will not hurt somebody. So this is what this chakra does. So these are the different things. The spirit in activation, it causes spiritual ignorance, thirst, jealousy, treachery, shame, fear, disgust, delusion, foolishness, and sadness. This is what happens when this chakra is not activated. Now, the energetic aspect is heat, friction, coloring, digestion, ripening. So these are the different energetics to that. And this is the navel chakra, which is Manipura Chakra basically, which has fire element to it. It has the digestive capacity to produce juice, the digestive juices in our intestine and all that. And tan matra is sight actually, right? Organ, sense organ is eyes, right? And the motor organ is the feet. This kind of chakra controls all this stuff. And the blood, the tissue is the blood here. And blood is also a tissue, by the way. So, and the body part is the right side of the chest. And the organ which is controlled by this chakra or the beej mantra also, including the beej mantra, is the liver, small intestine, and digestive system. And pitta is the dosha. Pitta dosha is at the Ayurvedic level. If you have excess pitta coming in your intestine, acidity, which means this chakra is not activated properly. Yam, which is at the heart level now, you are coming at a higher. This chakra will balance and heal emotional heart, right? Any emotion, it will balance and heal. That's what it is. And once it is activated, you have infinite love and compassion that develops if this is activated. And all this is basically, it comes from 12 petals, which is the 12 vrittis, bliss, peace, harmony, love, understanding, empathy, clarity, purity, unity, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. These are the qualities once this chakra gets activated. And remember that I have talked about the gravity of gratitude. The gratitude itself activates this chakra without any effort. So somehow, if you just are thankful, this chakra gets activated. Now, the chinta, आशा, चिंता, चेष्टा, ममता, दंभ, विवेक, अविवेक actually, and vikalta, व्याकुलता actually, अहंकार, लोलता, greediness, and kapatta, duplicity, and all these things is regret, remorse, argumentativeness, indecisiveness. Oh my goodness. Now, decision is the part of prefrontal cortex. Remember that. So, if this chakra is not activated, the prefrontal cortex also is not activated properly. And these are the apps, these are the negative qualities that happens to in a human being when this chakra is not activated, the heart chakra, the young. So Sriji always practices this chakra intonations of these beej mantras. This is basically to do that, to help you get love and compassion. The energetics is motion, direction, and motivation. Until and unless anything comes from the head to the heart, there is no movement in anything. You might have the greatest idea, which is in the head, right? Until and unless it percolates inside your heart, which means if you, until and unless you are emotional about that idea, it not action does not happen. So you remember, Gyan Yoga has no value until unless it becomes Bhakti Yoga, and then the Karma Yoga happens automatically. So this is the power of, this is the sequence of events that happens. So there are a lot of heavy-headed people out there who don't believe in bhakti. Then nothing happens. Okay. So devotion is very, very important for motivation. Motion and devotion is the same, direction-wise. Okay. Deity is Maheshwara, and the element is air, air element. And it has a 6-pointed star, and the tanmatra is the touch. Skin is the sense organ, and motion or motor organ is the hand. And the plasma is the tissue, and the blood and body part is the heart, obviously. Um, whenever you have any emotional upheaval, either it is excitement or depression or whichever, it is the heart that gets suffered. So that's where it's at. And the vata is the dosha for that. And the heart and the circulatory system is the one which gets activated by, or which is regulated by this chakra, and yang does that hum. This finds voice to expression, your needs and desire. You can speak up. It's so important that this chakra should get activated. Until unless you communicate, sometimes all the misunderstanding is happening because of lack of communication skills. This particular chakra has the power to do the communication skills. And now these are different uh, vowels here. So, and the vrittis are of this mantra is and sama mantra and the but all that swaha, namakam and chamakam, these are the ones which have these components to that. All the petal components are coming from that. The energetics is expressive, expansive, pervasive, and diffusive. And throat chakra is involved in that. And the deity is Sadashiva, the transcendent form of Shiva. And the element is ether. And Tanmatra is the sound, and it has a dark blue dot to it, symbol, otherwise hung with dot. Say, ears is the sense organ, and motor organ is the vocal cord. Tissue is the pranas. Pranas, all the 5 pranas are coming from this, activated by this chakra. So that's why when you do the Ujjayi pranayam, which is constricting the throat a little bit. So even the air you breathe becomes, or the pranvayu that you breathe in becomes 5 pranvayus because of the constriction of the throat. And that's exactly what we talk about here. The pranas, it's controlled by hung. So what is the dosha for that? And respiratory lungs and respiratory system is the one which is also regulated by this chakra. Swaha type of mantra are feminine nature, and Namaha type are neuter. Swadha are for the Mayans, Mahanes or Pitra. So these are different type of um, Swaha is like Visarjan, right? So that's what it is. And Namha is neuter. So you can have Namha for Durga Namha, but you will not have Durga Swaha because it is sorry, you will not have um, Om Namah Shivaya, right? Om Namah Shivaya is not it's not a feminine. It would not have Swaha in it. Om Namah Swaha nahi ho sakta hai usko. So these are different levels of understanding here. Now, as I told you, this particular graph, this particular figure comes out a lot of underground research of different activation of different brain areas in the in through this chakra system, because all this is connected to the brain, the entire stuff. The Muladhara Chakra, the lung activation is coming at this point. At this point, the prefrontal cortex, and here also. In the Swadhisthana Chakra, Vong controls the orange one over here. Another prefrontal, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and this is dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Manipura Chakra has this kind of thing, activation going on here. And Anahata Manipura Chakra, which means that this particular area has something to do with um, compassion and love and all that stuff. The dorsal prefrontal cortex and motor cortex area. Sorry, the wrong. The Anahata Chakra is coming from here, which is basically the emotional center of the brain. And Vishuddha Chakra hung is coming at the occipital as well as the um, close to pituitary area. So that's what it is about. And Om is everything. Is everything. It starts at Om and ends at which is basically Bindu. So these are the different uh, bija mantras which activate the brain anyhow. So this is now, how do you know that the brain is activated? Only by understanding that there is this particular region is activated. Now, whenever a region is activated, now these all the data is coming from bold studies, which means blood oxygenation dependent signals, right? BOLD, blood level oxygen dependent signals, and that is assessed by functional MRI studies. The functional MRI study, whenever there is a particular area which is getting activated, that area gets higher blood, more oxygenated blood in that area transiently. So that's how this. So whenever an area gets activated, how do you know that? There is a thing in neurosciences, and that says that neurons that fire together wire together. So if there is activation, which means firing of neurons going on, they will always wire together. So that area gets wired up. And the more you chant the same mantra over and over and over again, that becomes hardwired now. Now it's not going to break. So that's what it is. However, this mantra also has the power to break the junk circuits, which are destructive circuits, and it can rewire it for better circuits. Okay. Now this is what it is. Yoga Shakti power required to experience pure energy of silence. This is how you experience silence. Silence doesn't mean you sit quietly. Yeah, that also is required, but the real silence we haven't experienced yet. Real silence, the unmanifest silence. Only Raman Maharshi can know and talk about that. Lung. This is basically Ganesh and Siddhi and Buddhi. These are the two consorts of Ganeshji who control this. Vam, Swadhisthana Chakra, Brahma is in the child form with Savitri, right? Vishnu and Lakshmi is Rang, Yang is Rudra with Uma, and Jiva with Adya Shakti. And the Param Shakti and the Sukshma Shakti are the Agnya Chakra. And then there is Shiva principle, the unmanifest. After that, silence, the unmanifest silence. Silence, this particular silence has its own sound, which is anahad sound. Okay. Now, I'm heading towards the whole idea of Om. Remember that. The very first couple of slides, like I think third slide, I talked about how from Damru, the sound of Damru, Om came. I am getting into that now. Actually, this was all the preparation to get to that understanding about how the Om and uh, what is the right way of pronouncing Om, right? That's what we decided to. The Sanskrit vowel A is pronounced deep in the back of the throat, right? Like another. And when you say another, you are basically the deep throat level, right? It vibrates the neck, lung, and heart in the body, drawing energy down and in. That's what it is. It is as like in father. It requires much more significant opening of the throat, right? So, which is in the case of another like that, that denotes absolute, the infinite, and the pure being, the void. Like that, right? Energetic wise, it is pure existence, simple affirmation, simple negation, light as bare illumination, unmanifest self. This is what the energetics configuration of that sound is all about. And what is the spiritual significance of that? It is absolute, as I told you earlier. It is pure consciousness. It is Godhead, Parabrahma, or the Supreme Shiva. And it is at the top and the back of the head. It's even though it is, you make the sound at the neck, but the vibration is coming at the back of the head and the top of the head. What is the psychological significance? It is a deeper consciousness, is the source of mind and the prana and the primal self. In yoga, this particular promotes pratyahara, meditation, samadhi, detachment, crown chakra energies. All this, when you say that is doing all this stuff. Remember that. This has so much power to it. I cannot do pratyahar. Chant Om. Um, in actually what happens is there are some teachers who teach you to just say forever. In fact, this is also the kharaj practice in music. Those people who know who are vocal singers, their teacher tell them to practice or sa for 3 years without stopping. Constant, all you do is practice सा. तुमने practice किया सा के practice किया नहीं साहब नहीं तो फिर करो बैठ के. This is what it does. Pratyahar meditation, until and unless the teacher says, until and unless you start to hear this sa from within, till then you practice, and you have to be honest about it. So this is basically the crown chakra. So what it does is basically whenever the higher chakra gets activated, all the lower chakra gets activated by itself. This is a secret of chanting. The best thing is not to get too bogged down with activating the lower chakras. You activate the higher one, and all the lower ones will start get activated on its own. This is the power of that. O, which is a O as in yoke. This is energetics is Shiva energy manifest and unmanifest. So at the cusp of manifestation and unmanifestation, that's what the Shiva energy is about. It is at the unmanifest level, it is there, it is a pure consciousness. At the manifest level, it is with the help of Parvati ji, Uma. But at the O, when you say O, if you say Om, you are basically only harnessing the Shiva energy. At the level of spiritual, it is a universal ruling power, guiding and expanding force. And at the physical level, it is upper jaw, prana, mouth. Open the prana in the head and the spine. So this is what the O does. Whereas a, ow, if you do the not the o, the ow, double matra here. So that is a different one. I'll tell you that also. At the psychological level, it clears the mental and emotional fields, connects mind and higher self. This is the power of that. All you say, if you say om, that's fine. But you if you say aum, aum, that is even better. So I'll tell you. In the yogic level, it is called knowledge, devotion, unity, and pranayam energizes all the yoga. So if you start your, that's why most people start the entire practice of pranayam and yogasan with this om chanting, and it helps you become even. It takes the best out of the entire practice. It gives you higher what do you call leverage to doing yogasan and pranayam. That's Agnya Chakra. This is the one which I was talking about. So when O and is added together, it makes the sound of Om. This Bindu is the Bindu Visarga. This is gives the sound right? So Om. So if you consider these matrikas, A, A, I, U, E, Au, Au, and O, E, Au. Au is higher matrika. Remember, consider the energetics here. If you say lower energy, this is highest energy, and this is the visarga. That type of thing. So if you O and this is let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 10, 11. So 9 and 11 is 20. Whereas this is 10 and 11 is 21. So when you say Aum, A-U-M, you get higher energy. So this will free you. Om, it's nothing wrong about it. There are a lot of people who are doing the Om only. They don't do the Aum. Why? Aum is much powerful. There is no doubt about that. This chanting will free you of the self-imposed limitations. This is exactly what we do all the time. We are imposing, we are putting ourselves in our self-inflicted prison, self-made prison, and we inflict misery on us. This Om chanting will release you from that by default. What are the self-imposed limitation? Worry, fear, anxiety, depression, uh, self-pity. These are the self-imposed limitations and conditioning. This, it frees you to live the life that you are supposed to actually. Now let's go to the U. We have discussed A and A and O and A, right? Let's do the U. What is Ud? The short vowel U, which is flute, just like as in flute, energetic wise, it is vibration, work, effort, action, development, progression. This is what happens when you do the that's it. So in the spiritual level, it is expansive force and penetrating power and ascending to a newer dimension. Aha, this is beautiful. It gets you a very newer dimension to whatever you are doing. Now, you say, how is this whole thing getting? No, the thing is, decision making process in the prefrontal cortex. If you cannot decide, and if your decision is hampered by fear, which is limbic system, you cannot do anything. Nothing happens in life. So this chanting gets those circuits going so that things happen in your life. And I think this secret of this mantra should reach to the humanity, or especially in Bharat, where who have suffered a lot over a period of, I don't know, decades in 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 uh, in the hands of brutal people. So we have lost the juice, we have lost the trust, we have lost the faith in this beautiful scriptural injunction that we are learning today. Uh, at the physical level, it is the right ear, hearing, audio perception. When you say, oh, it is the right ear which gets activated. Can you believe that? And psychologically, it has the biggest intuition, prana comprehension, and mental grasp. When you do this, you get the biggest grasp. You sit down with a person, with a guru, and he tells you he reads the entire chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, and you'll remember exactly how it was. And I give you my example. My entire in my BSc level, at the bachelor's level, I didn't have books basically, so I had to borrow books. And of course, you remember that my father has been telling me how to do yogasana and all chanting and all that good stuff. I did that without understanding it. I did that with reluctance and whatever that was, but I did it anyhow. And you know what? I just took the book, I read it all night, and I gave it back, and I never worried about reading it again. That type of a mental comprehension I had, total grasp of. I could know, even today. I know which figure was in which page of the which book. This particular book had this page. So that type of a comprehension happens really. So I am a direct example for all the good stuff that is this have been we are talking today. Perceptive listening. I've seen I've seen people who are perceptive listener. They give 100% attention to that person when you are there listening. 100%. Their eyes, their ears, the entire body language, the face, every expression is just there. That is perceptive listening. Perceptive listening, perceptive reading, knowledge, peripheral awareness is also there. And it helps in formless meditation. Meditation on the void. The ooh is the real power behind the meditation of the formless. Oh, now you say, oh, this is higher, much more powerful than all the thing combined right now. Energetics it helps in full expansion of divinity and consciousness. It is the spiritual principle, the Shiva principle, which is full expression, in its full expression pervading the universe. And how it is the lower teeth and the jaw and the primary prana of the mouth and face in full expression. And it has psychologically, it is expansive in nature and it has controlled the aspects of mind and pranas. Promote contemplation, affirmation, and pranayam and samadhi. You see this when you do the I think Sadhguru does that. Sadhguru does the AUM chanting, chanting. He wants you to chant 108 times. I don't know how many times. And then he helps you. That helps in pranayam. That helps in promote contemplation and in samadhi also. All these things. So anuswara. So represent the vibration within the mind and the nervous system. And the final nasal sound as in om, drawing in the sound and merging into in the mind. It draws the sound of the mantra and it ends in the mind. So energetic wise, it is supposed to be for the harmonizing and internalizing and dissolving within. When you turn inward, this particular vibration is that which helps you dissolve. And the spiritually, it is the emergence of a deity being in the absolute. The Shiva and the Shakti principle both are merged in this. And it is obviously it is a Sahasra Chakra at the top of the head. It has to be like that. And psychologically, it is the deep feeling and the profound knowing that knowing that even if you are, let's say, if you are trapped, if you are made to sit in the dark room, absolutely zero light. Nobody needs to tell you that you exist, right? You are there. That knowing is coming from And in yoga, it promotes contemplation, emergence, internalization, detachment, and samadhi. Beautiful. Now there you are. That's what I was talking to you about. Om. This is the Sahasra Chakra. Earlier one was the Agya Chakra, this is the Sahasrara Chakra. Au plus is Aum. And when you see this vowels, A, I, U, I, O, Au and The Au and makes Aum. And then the quiet, the Visarga is just release. So the matra, a unit of metrical uh, quantity equal to a short vowel. This is the thing. This particular type of pronunciation, aum, aum, ow, is a kawa, cow, ow, will bring you alignment with your higher self, your life path, and the absolute. What is my life path? Some confused, uh, anybody who is confused should chant Om, because that will let you know exactly what you are supposed to do in life. And it will drive you toward that. It will make roads, inroads, it will make opportunities happen. It will do everything possible that you are supposed to do anyhow. So this will create a life path. Clarity of understanding will happen with this Om. So I just drew a frequency energetics here. E is equal to h nu. Nu is the frequency. H is the Planck's constant. And if you draw the energetics of this, it is basically A is here and then and that's it. The ah. So this is what it is. So if you do the simple Om chanting, OM, this will be the thing. If you do the intonation, it will become higher, higher and higher. So they are not that separate, but they do have higher. This particular one with intonation still have high energy. So what happens is is the start of the creation. The two sounds and hum is the end, right? You must have seen that. So hum is I, and that is basically Brahman. So the entire creation is between the two sounds, and ha. And ha with anuswar bindu, which makes aham, and that is called Brahman. That is aham brahmasmi. That's what it is. Now let's get to the real juice, the science behind it. In neuroscience, the imaging technique especially have helped in understanding our Sanskriti the most. Bharatiya Sanatan Sanskriti the most has, it's not that these has helped us, this technology has helped non-believers like me who says, show me the results, show me the technique, show me the data, show me the printout, otherwise I don't believe you. Thumbsucker people like me are given a big slap by the technology. Say, listen, you fool, you don't know what you're losing. You're missing out. It's already known. We are only telling you what it is. So anyway, this particular paper by James Hartzell, has has created furor in the world. I mean, what they have done is they have taken some Vedic Sanskrit scholars from Varanasi and other places, and they came up and they did the measurement of their brain volume, brain thickness, and different areas through various uh, morphometric methods as well as fMRI methods, all that stuff. So what they did was they took these masters, Pandit masters who have been chanting Yajurveda for last 30, 40 years. And they did and the control subjects were the ones who did not, like me, never chanted anything, and those are the control subjects. And they did the structural analysis of gray matter, density, cortical thickness, local gyration, as well as and white matter structure and related to the match controls. And the test results showed that the bilateral temporal cortexes, anterior cingulate cortex, and hippocampus, which is the memory area, these show thickness, which means thickness means more neurons, more white matter, and more gray matter. Gray matter is the neuronal body, actually, right? Now, difference in the hippocampal morphometric measurement showed that. So one thing, this is something which is It's very important to note. I just noted this. I said, "Nah, this is what they have seen is those expert spatial navigators, like those people who go in ships and they understand. Okay, without they look at the sky and they say, oh, I think we are this many nautical miles away from the shore or whatever that is. That type, those people have a very high spatial memory, and they have extremely good working memory also, verbal memory. Though these people, these masters of Yajurveda, they found out that these particular people also have the same thickness and this almost similar hippocampal morphometry. Morphometry means morphologically understanding what is the thickness of the hippocampus. That's all right. Okay. Now, which means that these mantras, chanters, they were very, very good in cosmology. Obviously, they can understand the movement of this star to that. I mean, Milky Way. They can understand what is going on there. When this Earth will blow itself. They know it. That type of a spatial memory they have about stars and astronomy and cosmology and all that stuff. So that's where these people got the Yajurveda chanters got their gift from. Now the increase in the gray matter. Gray matter means cell body of a neuron where the nucleus exists, right? That's a cell. That gives you the grayness in the brains. If you do the cross section, the grayness of the brain is because of the cell body. And they found out on something very. This is the left hemisphere and this is the right hemisphere. These are two different slides, different. So what happens is anterior cingulate cortex and ventromedial prefrontal cortex have the biggest thickness, increase in the density. And this is exactly what happened to these chanters. Pandit shows a higher density of gray matter. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So this is the place I'll tell you later on. There is another one. Now, this particular area have a low frequency emotion and limbic system. This is thalamus, putamen, caudate, amygdala. These are the fear generating limbic system area, right? And you find this is already in the Pandit. This is right one. The light colored one is basically low, 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 low. Everywhere it is low. So this thickness is getting low. And what all areas thickness is going low? At the area which produces fear, anxiety, and low frequency of emotional vibrations. This is exactly what it is. So it increases the thickness of the anterior cingulate cortex as well as ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher brain function. I would say super metacognitive intelligence. This is what these Pandits have. And they have less of this fear. So if suppose you have a metacognitive, super metacognitive uh, intelligence with absolutely absence of fear and anxiety. Now, super metacognitive intelligence contains the logical, the emotional, as well as the dharmic component to it. And that is exactly what I have been talking about in the Manas Bharat Charitamrit Sindhu that we have been talking about. Bharat Charitamrit Sindhu means Bharatji was the person who created the essence of Ram Rajya in Bharat. So what was the Bharatji's character he was the embodiment of super metacognitive intelligence, and he had zero fear and zero anxiety. And that is exactly what, and when that level of transformation happens, that you are in Ram Rajya. You are the Ram Rajya then. That's what it is about. Over here, the same thing. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about. This particular prefrontal cortex has these 9 different functions: empathy, insight, response, flexibility, emotion regulation, body regulation, morality. intuition, attuned communication, fear modulation. All this thing is done by this guy. And this is the region which is getting thicker and thicker by this thing. And this metacognitive intelligence, this is the region. And the limbic system is all about flight, fight, and safety and anxiety and depression. All that stuff is here. So what it does, it decreases this particular thing and increases this. Another paper that we have talked about the yoga. This is the Bible of neurobiology of yoga. This paper is the Bible, I would say. It has the most exhaustive review that you can think of, having done almost every possible thing that you can think of is in this paper. And this is great paper. I tell you what, I mean, it takes me at least a week to read one just once. This is that intense. Anyway, there's another one with the neurophysiology correlates of religious chanting. Posterior cingulate cortex, remember we have talked about that earlier, shows the largest decrease in the IGN. Now what has happened is this posterior cingulate cortex, why it is showing the decrease is because it is one of the regions which is affecting the what you call limbic system. This is what it is getting released. The posterior part, not the anterior. Remember, the anterior is good. Anterior is towards uh, the prefrontal cortex, whereas the posterior one is connected to the limbic system. So that's what is decreasing. That's what this shows. So in summary, what happened? The mantra, the source, stotram chanting of Yajurveda increases the volume of higher cognitive structures in our brain, increases the volume of hippocampus, which is involved in memory, and decreases those areas which has lust, greed, fear, rage, anger, jealousy, hatred. All this is reduced, and it causes fresh wiring into the prefrontal cortex. And once this is done, then only you can understand Upanishad. Reading Upanishad without getting the equipment ready is a dry intellectual exercise, and it causes arrogance. I have seen, I don't know how many people I have seen who have been so, they can chant Upanishad and they can do this, that, and they are just arrogant because they have not done the real deal. Okay, now Tantra. My goodness, I am running short now. Trasat, Tranatrat, Trananath, Trananath, Tantra. That is what it is about. Trasat means all types of fear. Tras means kashta. And Trana is protection from. Anything that gives you protection. The Tantra is that which gives protection from all types of fear, Tras. And this means this particular domain of Tantra is about philosophy and the method. Method means technology, right? Techniques. All the no, Tantra requires anyhow mantra as well as the deity. Both it requires. So this is the when Sriji talks about Lang, Vam, Rang, Yam, all these things, he is actually doing the Tantra. When you are focusing on different areas of the body, this is basically Tantra. And it requires what? Symbol and a Bij mantra also. And the pranayam. All the three things combined makes a Kundalini Tantra. Now somebody says, what is Kundalini Tantra? You can tell them. It requires symbol, it requires Bij mantra, it requires pranayam. And when you are doing this in conjunction under the guidance of a good guru, then you are doing Kundalini Tantra, which means you are making the energy go up rather than going down. Now, this is exactly what I had told you earlier. So, now, Yantra is another, is called tool. Like Tantra was the technology to use the tool, and Mantra was the sound energy used in the technology to use the tool. So you see that the Yam is the instrument, right? So Tra, which derived from Trana, which means release from bondage. And Yantra are the geometrical shapes, three-dimensional geometrical shapes, and they are charged with power of mantra. Most temples in ancient temples in India, if you take a drone view from the top and make a two-dimensional picture on the paper, you will find that almost all of them are yantras. And Kailash mountain is the biggest yantra in the planet. It is the most powerful one because it has the highest amount of energy. And yantra basically helps you achieve your true potential. People who have gone to Mansarovar, Kailash, without the effort, have been able to do their full potential. This is the fact. Yantra is charged with the power of mantra. And the chant in if I, people have talked about that, they go at 2 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock at night, and stand outside, and they can hear the mantra directly. This is what it is all about. It prepares your entire equipment, body and mind and brain and everything under control. Shivlinga is classified as and the best thing is our body is a mantra, is a yantra. Have we consecrated it yet or not? Prana pratishtha of our body, have we done it yet? It's only through pranayama and mantra chanting can we use this yantra, this body of ours, to become consecrated. This body can become the Kailash mountain, and this body can make things happen to our full potential. How do we get the true full potential? It is through rewiring our brain. Brain is everything in achieving the full potential. Brain is our enemy. Brain is our best friend. Use it right, it helps you. You use it wrong, it destroys you. The yantra, the powerhouse of energy. Now I'll tell you little different kinds of presiding deities. For example, Saraswati ji is there, Lakshmi ji is there, Ganesh ji is there. Saraswati for knowledge, Lakshmi ji for wealth, and Ganesh ji for remover of obstacles. Now every yantra has a corresponding bij mantra to it also. And this is Saraswati ji has Aing, Lakshmi ji has Shrim, and Ganpati has Gang, Om Gang Ganapataye Namah, that type of thing. And yantras are of different kinds, circular, mandalas they call it pyramid. All these this temple that are being constructed these days in UAE and in Ayodhya and all that, they represent the pyramid type of yantra. So, and of course there are some who are Sankhya yantra, which has numbers to it. And then the way their yantra is constructed is by dot, circle, line, polygon, and petals. These are the ones. And yantra with dot and square. Dot represents the void, which is the creation, where the creation was born, and the square represents the earth element, right? And the circle basically is the expansion of that dot itself, and it is called, it is a blissful void. Yantra. Now, this particular thing, you must have seen in the chakras, the triangle was either up or down. This particular thing is facing up. This is the masculine energy, and triangle facing down is feminine energy. And when you combine these two together, this is superimposed here, this is superimposed, this is coming here. So you have the set amount of lower feminine energy, downward pointing triangle with feminine energy, and the upward pointing triangle with masculine energy together, and that causes the balance. This is yin and yang, real. The star contains two overlapping, and this is basically causes equilibrium and the unity of creation. If it is lined clockwise, it is creation. If it is anti-clockwise, it is dissolution or destruction, I would say. Yantra with lotuses. This is a recent one, which represent virtue, diversity, and freedom. There are yantras for healing. These are the several yantras for healing. Now, I do not know how to practice this, but I think I might have to find out somebody really knowledgeable. How do you use these things for healing purposes? Now, there is Sri Yantra for wealth. These are the different it's not drawn exactly the same way because it's the upward triangle is not blue here. So, well, anyway, this is what it is. So, what you do is essentially hang the yantra at the eye level, sit in Vajrasana or Siddhasana, breathe in gently through the nose and exhale through the mouth, and gaze the mantra at the dot here. This is center over here is a dot. So, bindu. Then you expand your awareness away from the dot all the way to the point of petals and the circle and this thing, and then come back again and close your eyes and do the same thing in mentally. And that is how you activate uh, the wealth producing ability within you. How does wealth producing ability use here? It activates those part of the brain. This structure itself, have you seen small children playing with different colored objects with different shapes? Those shapes are basically helping them in and forming those brain structures which are because it is still developing, right? Those are the reason why we allow them to play with different shaped differently shaped objects. So, in summary, mantra, tantra, and yantra are all intertwined and should not be considered as separate. The limited goal, that's what I said, the limited goal at our body level is to get out of fear based conditioning, and develop our prefrontal cortex for super metacognitive intelligence. With this level of intelligence, you can be not artificial intelligence is still artificial. This is highest quality of super metacognitive intelligence because it not only has the logical aspect to it, not only it has the emotional aspect to it, but it has the dharmic aspect to which only people in Bharat can understand. The rest of the world do not understand what dharma means. And that is exactly why the present day science is becoming dangerous because of lack of dharmic control over the metacognitive intelligence. The super metacognitive is the dharmic aspect to it, and that is very important right now in this planet. The ultimate goal of mantra, tantra, and yantra is to help us transcend the boundaries of our physicality. This is the limited goal, but this is the ultimate goal to transcend the boundaries of physicality and the limitations of our mind. So this is exactly what we are, and I think that's it. Thank you so much. Infinite gratitude to you all for gentle listening.